Good afternoon and welcome to the Phillip Herbstein Stadium, the field in Constantia, which is host to the DirectAxis False Bay First 15, who will be taking on Brackenfell this afternoon in a Super League A clash on the main oval. It's a great honour and privilege from our side to be here today. I think we've already felt the honour that it is to be at a live event once again after all this time. And with me in studio this afternoon, I'm Stephen Vestrad. In studio with me is Tyron Blue. Tyron, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Pleasure to be here, sir. Excited.
Yep, you'll soon find that I might have to bring an objective opinion into proceedings this afternoon, but we'll roll with the punches and see how we go. And we really look forward to you joining us from your comfortable couches. I'm sure a lot of you have gotten together all over the world, supporters of the great False Bay rugby side, having braais, lounging around, enjoying a few cold beverages. Been an interesting week in the Cape, a lot of rain been around, but conditions underfoot look very good from what we've seen in the build-up here this afternoon with the second side. False Bay in a dominant mood this afternoon, good running rugby. Of course, we are at the home of running rugby, and a quick Google search will tell you that the first things that come up on Google would be the False Bay area would be the home of the great white shark, the great Constantia winelands, home to Grote Constantia, one of the oldest registered trademarks on the planet, and the likes of even Napoleon used to venture from far and wide to get some of the wines that we have here with us. We're going to move a little bit on at this point in time. Welcome once again, but we're going to go to the team sheets, and we'll start with the Brackenfell lineup for this afternoon's game. In the front row we have Warren Lehman, Llewellyn van Blerk and Cameron Witten. In the second row, Nico Null and P.W. Kuchlenberg, and the loose trio comprises of Ruben Becker, Marcel Roux, and at number 8 we have Raymond Spreeth. The back line, the halfbacks are Teniel Kuhn and Jandre Kleinans. On the left wing we have Clint Onker. In the midfield, Dan Aspeling, Bernard Minnie, and the other wing is Davy Grundlin. The fullback for today is Dylan de Villiers, and the head coach of Brackenfell is Tinus van Rensburg. The DirectAxis False Bay rugby football side for today, Wesley Chetty, a veteran of rugby in the Western Cape. In the second, number 2 position, Ande van Vuren, who I believe is a DC, a double centurion, over 200 games for the brand and the badge. So a special mention for a man bringing up over 200 caps today for the great False Bay Rugby Club. Umar Sali is in the second row with Adam Carvalho. Few changes there, a couple of notable absentees over the years. Some of the senior players not with us there today. On the flank we have Lukanya Nomzango, Tabo Ngongo, and at 8th man is Ross Beckett. Dylan Frylank is your halfback today, and he's in partnership with Luke Jacobs, playing only his second game in the number 10 jersey. For those of us in sporting circles in the Western Cape, and the cricket circles in particular, Luke was dubbed at a young age Bo Jackson. Let's see if he can live up to those multi-sporting skills today. In the midfield we have Morne Small, Darren Jafta. On the left wing, exciting Reno Mapu, and the pace out wide of Mustaqim Japi. At fullback we have Darian Hock, and the head coach is Jono van der Walt. Alrighty then, as we wait for the proceedings to finish in front of us, here we have the second sides out on the field. They're basically wrapping up, and we'll be waiting for the appearance of the first sides. Should be out in the next couple of minutes. In the build-up, obviously, guys, we do wish that you were in a better position today, that you were around the field, but we'll try and make your experience at least not too difficult as we sit here on the side of the field and bring you as best we can the game from the lovely setting here today. The weather is magnificent. Tyron, any thoughts on today's game?
I think just super excited to be here. First time seeing club rugby in just over a year. So yeah, couldn't be more excited to be here.
Important. Yep. Brilliant time. Take the voices.
expect the win or they expect the result, but every single year.
And rolling.
G'day, we're here with Jono van der Walt, head coach of False Bay Rugby Club. Jono, some thoughts on, obviously last year, and then how your progress has gone this year so far.
Yeah, John, last year was tough, as we all know. COVID hit us last year, and I think we had played a game in March. Funny enough, we actually played against Brackenfell, almost 15 months to the day. And we kind of had to lick our wounds and kind of got underground and made sure that we were training. But the guys took a few months off, and we've been training hard. And we've come out. We started in about July, August, September, and we just haven't stopped. And we're just happy that we can be on the field and playing rugby again.
It certainly looked like it last week, even in those atrocious conditions. What are they? Sorry, man. Get it wrong. Brackenfell have done extremely well so far, considering that they're a working man's club and these guys have to work overtime and so forth. Last week they did hammies, so today's not going to be an easy run, is it?
Oh, look, this is one of the fixtures we try and play every single year because Brackenfell are tough. They're extremely big up front, and then they basically have good backs, and they're very well coached. It's definitely a fixture every single year that we look forward to, especially in the warm up as well as the league.
And coming back to False Bay, you mentioned in a communication with me during the week that you've used only 172 players in 9 years. But you did point out on an average you're churning 12 new players every season, 12 leaving in other words. How do you feel about this season? Because there have been some departures.
Yeah, again, every single year, it's for outsiders watching the Bay, they always see False Bay and they maybe expect the win or they expect the result. But every single year is basically a rebuild every year because we lose 12 or 14 players, whether they go to professional rugby, whether they play varsity cup, whether they go play overseas, whether they get old and retire. So every year we're always looking to blend the youngsters with some of our core older guys. And this year is no different. We have a nice mix, youth and some guys as young as 21 years old and some guys as old as 36 years old. So the age gap is very, very vast at this point in time.
That's great. One last question, John. Last week you couldn't do much in that weather, so running the ball was tough. Today, a lot drier, although we've had some rain during the week. Where do you see, I know you don't really play your cards, show your cards before the game, but how are you tackling today's game?
Yeah, so we want some dry weather, and we're also a team that works extremely hard on our conditioning. And today we basically want to play our tempo, and we want to run the ball, and we want to score some tries. So hopefully Brackenfell's up for it as well, and then it should be a nice try-scoring game. But today we're definitely here to play it.
Okay, wonderful. That bonus question that always comes through. You said running the ball, and of course your back three are exciting with Mustaqim Japi back, and last week's wings and fullback. So we are looking forward to it because there's some serious or some experience in the middle. So we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, we will always have a team that likes to counter, but at the same time we also pride ourselves on our set piece. So a massive scrum is going to be very important for us. And even though we've lost a few key positions in locks, we're looking to up our lineouts from last week as well. And once we get that front football first, of course the backs are going to have a bit of fun then.
Yeah, wonderful. Thanks very much, Jono, and enjoy the game.
Cheers, John. Shot, man.
I'm here with is it Kraaifontein or Brackenfell? With Brackenfell coach Tinus van Rensburg. Tinus, welcome to Cape Town. Welcome to the southern suburbs of Cape Town. If you want to speak Afrikaans, go ahead. But I'm going to stay in English. It's better for the audience.
It's fine. No, we can start off with English and then see how it goes. Yeah, thank you for having us.
Very good win against Hammies last week. How did you do it? Where was the game won?
For us it's the first contact session or first game we had. They had obviously a couple of guys out as well. A good start. I think we were very good on defence, trapped them behind the advantage line. So that was the main reason. And also the scrums and stuff. So we did well, yeah.
This last 15 months have been tough. In fact, False Bay's last game was against you guys at your grounds. And chatting to Kyla Nokia, your chairman, she says that it's tough for you guys to retain players because you're a working man's club like False Bay is, and the guys just find it easier to rather earn overtime than to dedicate themselves to training. How have you felt? How is that tough task of keeping people motivated? How has that been for you?
You know, yeah, in the beginning it was quite difficult. I actually just told Pierre as well. It's difficult in the beginning to get players to the field. The main reason for that also them being out for 15 months. But besides that, also in the beginning, not really knowing what to tell them. Are we going to play rugby? When does it start? So as soon as we basically knew there was a season or friendlies coming up, then the guys started coming to the field. So in the beginning it was quite a challenge to get the players back to the field. Yeah.
Of course, and just watching some of the second team game here, the guys are they happy. They want to run. You can see the rugby's oozing out of their pores. And coming back to your game has always been a tight, physical type of game. Today you're on a hard track. I can't remember. It was last Friday wet as well.
Yeah, quite wet. Yeah.
So today you're on a harder pitch than both teams had last week. A bigger field than yours at home. And so what are you still play what you know, the physical game?
Yeah, we try to nowadays play a more attractive type of game plan. But yeah, we have biggish forwards, and I think that is where our key is. Our key is in front. So we will keep it quite with the forwards, but we've got exciting new players in the backline as well. I think we can challenge any team, and so we'll see how it goes. Normally, I say this week as well to the players. Normally in Falsby, in the end, they like to take it wide, and they've got a lot of skill and space on the wing. So we'll see if we can. We worked a lot on that, so we'll see if we can keep them intact.
Right. Dennis, while you were talking now, I just remember the last league match we've played against you. You guys needed a bonus point, I think it was. And I remembered your game. As you were talking, you guys really impressed. You can run the ball very, very well. So maybe it's just a bit of an insult to say you can only play bash rugby. I remember that game. You guys played exceptionally well that day.
Yeah, we tried to adapt. In the beginning, like I said, that was really our strong point, was our forwards. But over the couple of seasons, I think as the players also develop and get experience, they see that we can actually play. And like I said, over the last couple of seasons, we kept our core players, and there's one or two exciting new guys that came into the backline as well. So that's why I say I reckon we can spread it a bit, and we will try to spread it, but we'll see how it goes.
I think it's going to be a great game. The one thing that must be, and I would like to compliment you, is consistency in coaching. You've been in charge for 3 or 4 years now, and you can see it. You guys are really a fantastic club. You can see the thread running through the teams. So good luck for today, and good luck, more importantly, for the season, the shortened season.
Yeah, thank you very much. And just to reply on that, I think I said it previous years ago. I said the same thing. I think we're similar in the way that over the last couple of years, both clubs have been able to keep their core players. And that's the difference. I think if you checked your guys' caps and stuff like that, all of a sudden we're starting to get that as well. You've got players that has been playing together for 5-6 seasons, so that makes a massive difference. So yeah.
Now, these comments you're making are very valid to an audience of club rugby fans who normally just come and sit at the pitch. Now they're hearing the thought processes that you as coaches go through. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back again to the False Bay Rugby Club, where the DirectAxis False Bay take on Brackenfell this afternoon, and the visitors take the field.
Yeah, sorry.
Rather unceremonious.
Crowd goes badorned.
Absolutely no crowd. Yeah, we have experienced the full brunt of COVID regulations. Yeah, a lot of uncertainty, but at the end of the day, I think protocols have been fulfilled. The Brackenfell boys are in the middle, and the False Bay side led on by their skipper, TV.
Yeah, actually it feels quite surreal being here. First time I'm sitting inside a field without having a beer in my hand, so could be interesting.
Emotional stuff, you know, in a world without any visible emotion, since we sit here at the side of the field, experience a very, very new feeling. And as TB has alluded to, I think sitting here today, it feels very surreal because it's almost feeling more real
Start on this side,
than ever before, as we've had this absence, this gaping hole in live sport for a period of almost 15 months. And with the microphone talking back to me, that was quite a moment. But TB, I think what's interesting is that we're right in front of the action. We've got no interruptions. There's no break in view for our side. There's no crowd. But I think we're going to have one hell of an exciting afternoon here. The players must be more excited than we are.
No, absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. I think both teams coming off a W. I think we're in for quite action-packed next 80 minutes.
Okay.
The boys look ready. They look in good physical condition, but only time will tell. As with a layoff like that, I think we even noticed at the higher level how guys struggle to find their feet initially. The rhythm may not quite be there, but having said that, we're live
let's go.
And we're ready for kickoff. In the next few seconds, join us for the live fixture. False Bay Rugby Club against Brackenfell. Away we go. Immediately from the kickoff, we have a mistake from the Brackenfell second five. Ball locked on and False Bay on the attack.
High shot. High tackle.
Looks like we're Chetty taking it in there. Ball beautifully presented. We have quick ball as they attack the open side of the field, and immediately there's some gaps opening up. Looks like from our screen here, we're not very close to the action. So bear with us today, but it seems like a hard tackle. And we're back in the middle of the field. False Bay have the first opportunity in the match to put points on the board or kick it out into touch. We are at the home of running rugby, but we don't know what the instructions are at this early stage of the season. It looks like they'll be looking for the touchline.
I love to kick that.
Absolutely superb.
Yeah, let's all see.
Right in the corner, False Bay on the attack, line out 5 meters out. We see where's Chetty at the front of the line out. Looks like it's going to be a full line out. TB, what do you think we're going to see here?
Memory serves it correct. Hopefully have a middle jumper and a drive.
Looks like that was taken to ground from my vantage point. But the ref says play on, and well called there. TB, absolutely spot on. Great call. Ball very slow to come out.
There's the ball. Step. Leave no hands.
I think Brackenfell being very effective of slowing the ball down here in the initial phases of this move. They've actually now taken False Bay back 5 meters. They're now 10 meters out, but now the ball does come out quickly and they'll go to the open side. Still holding on, foraging. Ball does go to ground, the ruck is formed. Some space to move in, but they continue to badger up through the big units in the midfield. And eventually, no ground made, and a turnover. The penalty is Brackenfell's, and they will have some welcome relief. TB.
No. The other guy that went for the ball.
It's the center 3/4 for Brackenfell, number 12, Dan Aspeling, who kicks the ball out on the far side of the field, only managing to make about 15 to 20 meters, but he made sure of his touch. Brackenfell now will be playing out of their 22, and
Go.
looks like a short line out has been called. We're in the unenviable position of having been set up on the corner touchline in our commentary booth this afternoon, so a lot of the play very far away from where we are, but that's a big man just crashing it up the middle of the field there. It looks like Brackenfell also here to run the ball as they set up a couple of pods, and now goes out to the centre. Full of running here, Brackenfell earlier. It looks like guys are wanting to make contact. Held up by Luke Jacobs in midfield. Good play by the number 10 there, just slowing the ball down. It's Brackenfell again setting up a couple of pods, but it looks like they might look for the touchline. Charge down. And a breakaway. Ball lost in contact. Another opportunity for False Bay to tidy things up a little bit. Get some structure.
Push it.
Advantage, offside. I mean, scrum it.
Advantage been played here for False Bay. And nothing accrues. So we'll go
You
back for the
offside.
penalty.
I know, but got in the way. Yeah.
There's your mark.
False Bay in the same position as they were a few minutes ago, and it looks like they're going to go for the same option. This time the ball comes flying straight over our heads here near the corner flag. This line out to take place right in front of us. Best and only seat in the house is ours today, TB.
Absolutely. For a Flum, I think cap 207, experienced no problem for this gentleman.
One of the hardest men in world rugby gets the ball in.
Absolutely. Wouldn't be surprised if you see a couple big hits from the number 2.
As mentioned earlier,
Guy.
double centurion, over 200 caps for the Union.
Guy,
A true
you-
working class hero of the modern game.
It's once.
And now gets the ball to ground, and False Bay have another opportunity to get the backs into play. Jacobs. Racket set up,
Advantage, no
and
clear
another
release.
advantage accrues.
Tackle, you're part of the tackle.
Quickly taken by False Bay. Lovely to see this enterprising play. The little scrum off. Dylan Freilink. He didn't waste any time there. As False Bay now building up possession, and the penalty goes against them. Very unfortunate, but
Okay.
both sides have proved that they're here to run the
Stop.
ball today. Incredibly
Okay, yeah,
excited to be here and bring you this production this afternoon. The early signs are
Okay.
that we're in
We
for
have
a
a
treat
clean
this
note into
afternoon.
his arm, straight shoulder
Both
onto
teams
the
look
guy's
full of
lower
running.
back.
I think the
Okay,
lactic
that's
acid's
dangerous
been
play.
building up over the last 15
It's a yellow
months,
card, eh?
and nobody can
Okay,
wait.
it's a dangerous play.
Unfortunately,
Okay.
there's an early yellow card for False Bay.
Shoulder into a guy's back.
10 minutes, side of the field.
And the first
First
player to
spectator
the
of the
cooler
day.
box, yeah.
Absolutely.
First man to go and have a cold refreshment and watch from the sideline with us. Again, Brackenfell taking the penalty, not making too much ground, but making short touch as we have play on the 22 now in the Brackenfell territory. Short line out called once again. Looks like they'll be looking to run up a few phases. Beautifully taken at the front, but no option but to take it himself there, the young scrum half. To Neil Kuhn as he sets up play. A couple of the big units now getting involved. 12 finding himself in the heat of the action there. It looks like it could be a kick from the base of the scrum here as he puts it to the sky. Underneath it, False Bay number 11, TB.
Mushti, let's see what this man's super excited. Let's see what he comes up with.
Wow, it looks like the hot stepper, Ini Kamosi down the left-hand touchline there. Beautifully gathered and played, and False Bay retained position. Jacobs now. Are we going to see the ball go out wide? First phase, down the middle. Beautifully presented, quick ball, False Bay with numbers to the right. Beautifully through the gap. Has he managed to hold on to it? Looks like he may have. Play going to and fro now. The big men bashing it up again. Lovely play from Chetty in the midfield. He presents it now. Can False Bay get quick hands on this? Skip one, skip two. Beautifully picked up down the left. The big man, Flum. What's he going to do? He's a battering ram. The seas parted way as he got hold of that ball, and False Bay obviously holding on to
Tackle away.
position. Yeah, he's fallen awkwardly, but it should still come False Bay's way. What do they make of this? Jacobs again. As the ball goes out, full back in the line now. I don't know if you can see that far across the field, TB,
I absolutely cannot, sir.
but so far so good. Any thoughts on the initial opening minutes in the game?
Yeah, absolutely. I think both teams look like they're keen to run. I think just a couple errors from both sides. Obviously a bit frantic. I think guys haven't been on the park in quite a while. Hopefully it does get better.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think I actually expected worse. That's looking pretty positive so far. And I've had a first look there at number 11, Mustaqim Japi. He looks like a very exciting prospect on the left wing. I don't know if that box kick might be the wrong option.
Inside of out of touch.
Yeah, Mustaqim
So it's late, lifted him,
in close
turned him
quarters.
horizontally,
Let's just listen what the
fell
refs
on
have
his
to say.
side.
Yeah, on his side. Yeah,
Okay, so we're talking yellow.
absolutely.
Okay, number 7.
Number 7 blue.
And there we go.
Number 7. 7. Yes. Marcel says, yeah, 7.
Ja meneer,
Okay, so we've got...
leg tackle.
Yeah. After the tackle, you continue to lift the player, turn it sideways.
Well, there we have it. Matching false play now for an early yellow card. It's the captain of the Brackenfell outfit, number 7, Marcel Roux,
Over here.
who's going to spend 10 minutes
Over.
on the opposing
Further.
touchline. Also have a quick think about things. Having spent over 400 days on the touchline, I don't think that's where you want to be spending the afternoon. So
Over
the
here.
penalty's gone false play's
number-
way. And for the third time this afternoon, they should be right in front of us
sorry.
and looking to set up a line
Tabu.
out in the corner.
I couldn't reward you over there when you were over the ball. You have to release first.
Tell you what, my quick inspection of this Brackenfell team, this number 2 from Brackenfell, I would not dance with his missus. He is
Thank you.
absolutely on it. Excited to see
Thank
him
you.
stuck into the ruts as well.
He should bring a lot
Okay,
of
just open
entertainment
up
to
there.
us this afternoon. Brackenfell, of course, have made the trip across the imaginary curtain from the north to the south, finding themselves in great weather here this afternoon at False Bay.
Okay,
With
more.
a bit of a hostile reception from the hosts as they maul it up again, and this looks ominous. That's been taken down, and Flum goes blind. Will he be stopped? Support there. And bundled into touch, so we'll go back for the
Collapsing it.
penalty. Will we see another quick tap and go, or will they set up
Okay,
another
collapsing
phase
them.
play? It looks like again we'll be going for the corner, and for the 4th time this afternoon,
Lines
False
the
Bay
middle.
making their intentions clear. They want to score tries, they want to run the ball, and let's hope they can take this ascendancy in possession and territory and turn it into points. TB.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's hope. I think that's the 3rd line out of the 5-meter line. Let's hope we can convert it to points.
Again, immediately that line out sacked off the back, gone straight to ground, so no room
Don't
for the
change
ball to
lanes.
form.
Use it now.
Form. They should be setting it out wide. Jacobs on the switchback. Who do we have there, TB?
We have Mr. Hart running through the centres. Freilink here gets a wide to Chetty. Hell of a contact there, 5 meters
Step
out.
here.
Beautifully presented by Chetty as well. Another phase, and False Bay mean business here. Adam De Carvalho taking the ball up, presenting it beautifully. Bit slow. Ball being spoilt effectively by
Counter was good.
Good counter ruck from their side, but the possession is still here. And it looks like Flum wants it again. He's enjoying contact this afternoon, there's
Hold
no
there,
doubt about
Brock.
it.
Hold.
Hates taking contact, that young man, let me tell you for free. So hopefully gets a cleaner ball here to the backs.
Oh, Jacobs a show and go. He almost makes it through. Will he manage to get to ground?
Tackle.
He's been held up. The call is tackle made.
First.
And he's got to ground. The ball coming again. Hands over the top there from Brackenfell. Bit of indecision then going down the right. A little bit of slow ball there, but also a bit of indecision from False Bay as we just build up momentum again as we see another phase come our way down the left. And look who's got the ball again. How many times in 20 minutes can you barge over the line? Jacobs, not the greatest pass, but beautifully picked up. And look at this. Oh, he's got a foot in touch. I'd like to get a closer look at that. He had an open touch line in front of him. Darian Hock, the number 15 for False Bay, he's got a smile on his face. I don't see how he possibly put his foot on the line unopposed running in there in the corner, TV.
So that's absolutely going to result in a fight straight after the game.
He almost looks slightly embarrassed at the moment. He's not sure that the linesman's made the right call. Look at him. Boys are right in front of us. The Brackenfell team, in no uncertain terms, having words with each other of encouragement, saying that they needed to lift their game at the moment because things are not looking favourable. You cannot defend the entire game. They need to get out of here. And almost an intercept there by Falsebay, but Brackenfell, to their credit, running it off the line here. And amazing confidence, but again the ball thrown away, nothing coming of it.
No advantage, knock.
And we come back for the knock-on by Falsebay. It looked like he went for the intercept. Obviously we don't have the best view at time, but for my opinion, either he was trying to intercept that or he slapped it down. So very fortunate only to be a knock-on.
Absolutely. Like you say, quite brave running from behind their line. But yeah, good exciting rugby so far. It's been a good 12 minutes out. It's been super exciting, especially being just 5 minutes away from the park.
I think the boys out here this afternoon are intending to make this a spectacle for all our viewers at home.
Thank you.
And they've turned it on here this afternoon. A lot of contact. They've missed it. This is what they do best. This is what they love doing. And Lukey Jacobs here on the left wing, just checking in with the linesman again about that foot in touch when the try was scored.
Bind.
Now for a very interesting aspect of the afternoon, we will have the ascendancy in the scrum. Hopefully it's a tidy affair. And good right shoulder there from Falsebay. But the ball comes out, and again Brackenfell deciding to take it up, making a good 10 metres there. And to the boot we go, and we have a touch. Very good kick there. He's managed to take play halfway between the 10-yard line and the 22. In fact, creeping towards the 10-yard line. And that's about as far downfield as we've seen Brackenfell this afternoon, TB.
Absolutely. So it's Flum's feed number 4, I think 100% of the line out so far. See if he can continue his good form.
Absolutely spot on once again, and a nice flat ball. Advantage being played to Falsebay as they held up in the midfield. Again, about the 5th time this afternoon, exactly the same position. Hopefully they can make
New
something
advantage.
Of this.
Number 8 offside.
It's too much indiscipline from Brackenfell now. We have another advantage, as you could clearly hear from the referee there. So double advantage at the moment. And just an eye off the ball there, and we'll play the second penalty in a more favourable position. But Falsebay go again quickly.
He took.
Another quick tap by Freiling. He's full of running today. Also special mention, Freiling does have Stormers caps, as he likes to tell everyone in the bar for the game.
Well, nobody in this world can take that away from him, TB.
Absolutely not.
At the moment, of course, just as big a crowd here as there would be at the Stormers game, if not the British and Irish Lions. So the stories in the bar are more and more important as time goes by.
Flum again with another carry for today.
He's a one-man wrecking ball at the moment, I must say. They won't be thinking about him in their sleep tonight. It's open and it's got thrown over the top. Unlucky there for Juppy, open try line, but just the pass going astray. And once again, the player hasn't actually moved from our commentary box this afternoon. I don't know what we're going to do when it's in the far corner later on. So, in the meantime, we are in a very fortunate position of having no excuses. We've been able to give you the best commentary possible. The guys are right in front of us. Flum has a big smile on his face. He's missed it more than most, hasn't he?
He absolutely lives for this contact, let me tell you. But yeah, I think it's time Falsebay. They've been in the 22 now for the last 7-10 minutes. Hopefully turn into points.
Yeah, I know. The key factors. We've already had the countdown clock is at 25 minutes now. No score in this first half. 99% territory, in fact perhaps 100% territory for Falsebay at this point in time. And Brackenfell again looking to take it up, but a mighty hit in the midfield, but the ball is retained by Brackenfell. I would suggest get the ball out of here, and that's exactly what they do. TB.
Yapi, what can he produce the goods again? Oh.
Magic, absolutely brilliant under that ball.
Hawk is also full of running today.
Tackle!
Yeah, exciting back three from Falsebay. I'm excited to see them in space as well.
Yep, things looking very positive, and away they go. Down the right-hand touchline, manages to keep the ball in play. Throws it in field, looking for support now. And again, lovely structure from Falsebay. And back again we are, within 10 metres of the try line as Chetty takes a burst down the middle. Quick hand again by Freiling. This is magic from Falsebay. Drawing pass here. He's going on his own. Could this be the opening score? Beautifully brought down just short of the try line. Cavallo, as the ball is presented again to Freiling. Jacobs waits. What will he do? The short ball to the Flum. They were waiting for him that time.
Absolutely.
And nobody at home here. The race is on. A massive charge down the touchline. Ball still in play. Got brilliantly done to get back there. We can't see from our vantage point exactly who that was.
Managed to get back there and cover up quite well.
Phenomenal bit of rugby. Just him standing between another kick and the try line downfield. But False Bay have also managed to retain it. Take your hat off. Take a bow, Morne Small. And now it's on for False Bay.
Always in space over here. Does he have the gas? No, not quite. Definitely needs support down on the side, on that side of the field.
And the game is now starting to open up here in front of our very eyes. It's going to and fro. There has been a mistake from Brackenfell, so the advantage is with False Bay again now. And I'm sure we're going to see nothing different to what we've seen in the last 10 or so minutes. Ball being thrown wide. Here we go. And it's on to the left. Are they going to have the steam to sustain this all afternoon? Is that young Jappy again, TB?
No, that was the fullback, Mr. Hock. Obviously a little bit of space. I think the kick was marginally charged down, but we'll find out.
That guy, no, he won it. He just placed it when he was on the
My correction, just not a great tactical kick.
He won it, then he got tackled, he placed it.
Yeah,
Impressive, eh? Impressive, eh?
Impressive to kick it directly left into the grandstands when you've got two poles to the right. And Mr. Van Vuren there, using all his experience. And he's been in the ear of the ref many times this afternoon already.
It won't be the last one, I can assure you.
There's very little he's not involved in at this stage. He's in the middle of the scrum. He's taking up the ball. He's had a perfect record at the line-out time. And he spent some time getting to know the ref as well.
Nummer 8 was al 2 keer die Backermans omkant.
Reminds me of a couple of other hookers we've known over the years, the likes of old Keith Wood of Ireland in his mould for me, a guy who never backed down. Wasn't the biggest guy in the pub after the game either, but probably the hardest and second biggest.
Absolutely.
The water break, sir, or we play?
We've got an injury. Yeah.
Guys, I hope you're enjoying this with us. What a privilege to be out here this afternoon in near perfect weather in Cape Town at False Bay Rugby Club. DirectAxis False Bay, first team here, running out against Brackenfell in what has been a very entertaining clash so far. False Bay have had the ascendancy, but very little to show for it as we reach the halfway mark in this half.
There's your mark.
And once again, is the penalty
Ja,
of
nee,
False Bay.
was een eie report. Ek het dit gesien. Ja.
On the 10-yard line, still in Brackenfell territory. Only brief moments, maybe from a kick-off or so, that they have been out of their own half. But they've held strong thus far, and so far so good for them. If they could break away now and score points, I think False Bay would really be incredibly disappointed by the match situation.
Absolutely, but credit to the side as well. They've absorbed the pressure as well. But yeah, another massive hit in midfield, and I don't think it will be the last one you see today either.
You can certainly hear the screams from the sideline today. There's no interruption in sound or view. And it looks like Brackenfell have stuck to their guns here, taking it up tight in the first few phases, working their way gallantly back from territory deficit. And all they need to do now is try and get in behind the False Bay boys. We'll grab it down the far side. The ball seems to still be in play. Long distance away from us here. Should have brought the binoculars out this afternoon. But as I said, we'll do our best. You've got a better view than us, but we've got a better seat than you.
Absolutely. I see David Giffen's back on after his 10 minutes in the sunburn.
The big man, David Giffen, the music factory over there. You did mention that he might be in the thick of things, and before your words were cold, he was on the side of the field having a cold beverage.
Yeah, I think just maybe too excited for this fixture. But I promise you, we'll see a lot of running from the prop, I promise you.
And it's been ominous if you consider that the tight three of False Bay have had a massive impact in this game so far. Chetty's always been able to hold his own in the front. He's carried it up a good couple of times. Van Vuren we've mentioned maybe 8 to 10 times already, and now with Geffen back on, hopefully False Bay can turn the screws on the pack of the Brackenfell team. But again, Brackenfell with some possession now. First time that we've seen them this far away from us in the opposition half. And we'll try our best to bring you the action from a distance here as the number 10 takes the ball up there. That is Jandre Kleinans for Brackenfell. Slow structured play, just picking it up, forming the ruck, holding on to possession. Probably the way to go, just to slow things down and get a bit of possession and territory, TV.
No, absolutely. But yeah, the team looks nice and composed. And yeah, like you say, I think if they get points now, False Bay will really kick themselves with all that early pressure.
Exactly. It will be a telling tale to see who the fit of the two sides is. I know False Bay, as we heard in the interviews earlier this afternoon from the coaches, pride themselves on their conditioning. And if you're going to run the ball for so long, you're going to have to see some points, otherwise you will be tested.
the bone collector, Lucania, with another massive hit. It actually hurt my back.
I don't know where all the screams came from because there's no people, but I sure did hear a couple there.
Okay, after I blew my push the guy in his face, I'm not going to tolerate it, guys. We're here to play rugby.
Absolutely.
Okay, high tackle there against you, Tabu. Okay. Okay, penalty.
Okay, just called for a hard tackle there. It's False Bay being penalised for the infringement, and this gives Brackenfell a chance more than midway through the first half to finally get into False Bay territory and see if they can put something together. The kick seems a good one. He's managed to kick that out right in the far corner of the field, and Brackenfell with their best chance in the opening half, TV.
Absolutely. I think, again, we can expect another driving maul, big pack. I'm sure that they'll try to take False Bay on right away.
Let's see where the ball goes. It'll probably go to Nico Null in number 4 for Brackenfell, or PW Kucklenberg. Ball to be thrown by Llewellyn van Blerk. And this is exciting times for Brackenfell. They could certainly poach a lead here and poach a first half out of absolutely nothing. Bit of a delay in getting it in, but it does go to the front, number 4 Nico Null. And now they look to drive it towards the line, but so far meeting neat resistance from False Bay, who may have brought down the maul though, unfortunately, as Brackenfell work their way slowly but surely towards the line here. Deciding to keep it tight, haven't had much position, and is that a try? It looks like it.
First time in False Bay's 3-2, coming away with points.
Yeah,
One of those fight back.
One of those you didn't want to predict, but unfortunately that's the situation. You've had 5 or 6 opportunities to take the points. Certainly agree with going for the corner, but somehow Brackenfell managing, and give them credit where credit's due.
Absolutely. Tell you what, Wes, I'm looking at the reserves for Brackenfell, and there's a lot of beef still to come onto this park today.
It looks like they're keeping the main stake on the sideline now. Maybe just not ready for 80 minutes of contact rugby, but I'll tell you what, even if it's 10 minutes, it's 10 minutes too many for me. As False Bay will be gathering their thoughts, spending some time together behind the posts. Maybe a little bit of time together is what they need, because having had all the dominance in a half completely dominated, a lot of flair, a lot of ball going out wide, Brackenfell with one opportunity, deciding to keep it tight and just working their way into the corner. And I think, as you said, TV, with that advantage potentially in the pack, some really big men here, they've kept it tight and with one opportunity managed to crash over and convert the try from the corner. It's 7-0 Brackenfell.
I think maybe some harsh words under the poles there for the False Bay lads. So let's see what they come back with here.
Number 7, of course, the captain of Brackenfell himself, also back on the park now. Marcel Roux, also having spent 10 minutes in the Sinbin. But he seems a real general at the back here, coordinating things, talking to his team and keeping them focused as we get underway again. A nice hanging ball from the kickoff from False Bay. Beautifully taken in, bit of confusion there between the two. But Tennille could have a lovely take from the kickoff. And it's a little bit more of the same there, just taking it up close to the maul, close to the ruck. And I'm expecting a box kick here from number 9. He gets it
inside.
after the fly off, who sends it. And I think good play, having just scored the points, get out of trouble, find the touchline and get out of your territory. Good kick from John Ray Kleinans there, taking play up to around the 10-metre line.
I've got about 16 left. Hey, hold there.
Quick ball there from Van Vuren, beautifully done by Chetty at the front of the line out. Unexpected here for Brackenfell, caught slightly unawares as they set up play in the middle of the field for the 100th time this afternoon. And quick hands out to Jacobs, who sets his back line away. Beautifully picked up there in the midfield. Lovely position to run from now. The numbers are to the left. Can they get it out wide quickly enough? Chetty with beautiful hands for a big man. Van Vuren once again. Now the chip ahead. Who's it going to be? And that looks inconclusive. I don't think he got pressure there. No downward pressure certainly. Juppy's so close but yet so far there, TV.
Absolutely. Again, out of almost nothing, showing his skill. But yeah, I think maybe another side step inside would be more exciting.
We can't say much more about the tight players there when you consider that Chetty found himself at outside back there. Van Vuuren on the wing, presence of mind to get it out to the wheels. And just unfortunately for Falsbay again, in the how many time this corner, 7th time this half in the very same corner, but not walking away with any points.
Absolutely correct. I think we're in for a hell of a scrum here, 5 metres out.
15.
I think we're going to have to move our commentary box to the far corner for the second half as well, opposite side of the field, if this is the way things are going to go this
About
afternoon.
15, yeah.
So now we're going to get a good look at the scrum and the situation here. The pressure is on Brackenfell. Can they pull another Houdini act here this afternoon and come away unscathed?
Well. Gents, no.
Now things are heating up.
Calm down, I'm the ref. Calm down.
Space
Calm
seems to
down.
be winning in the loose, but I don't know if they're going to win in the tight there.
Come here.
TB.
Top 3, come here.
Sorry, I'm just engrossed with,
Guys.
with what's happening on
Guys,
the field.
Don't worry, you can
Brackenfell,
catch
just
that
come
on
here.
the highlights later.
Brackenfell,
Top 100
just come here
scrums of
quickly.
amateur rugby this season
Okay.
out for Mother's Day. I'm sure Phil Kearns was listening to. He'd be very impressed
Okay,
with what he's
let's
seen this far. But for the
Pressure
first
came
time
from the
today, we
back.
can
I'll
now
speak
see
to the
things
locks.
heating up
Okay.
amongst the front. We've spoken enough about the Falsbay
Gents.
boys, but if you look at the opponent's
the
size
whistle.
over there, the number 3 for Brackenfell is about the size of the entire front row of the Falsbay side. He doesn't look like he's going to be turning too often. Except looks like he might have got a wedgie there from his lock player. His locks are a little bit unpleasant. He's there. Just trying to rev him up and get him angry, I suspect.
5. 6.
Okay, but boys need a breather.
No, it's not.
There's a serious fight for ascendancy up front now. I think Chetty is about half the size of his opponent, and there's a few words being shared over now. A couple of smiles, a couple of smirks, and a few mentions under the breath.
Stand in front row chat, I think they're in the middle of the
So,
scrum.
gents. Okay.
Good time to mention the front row. Brackenfell, Warren Lehman in the number 1 jersey. In
Fine.
Llewellyn van Blerk, he had to bring game. He's up against a formidable opponent, and they certainly are sharing the spoils. But Chetty has been dominated right here. He's gone down a couple of times. He did hit the ground first. He's not impressed. He's not convinced. But it seems like a battle for the battle one for the big man, number 3, Cameron Witten on the tight hand side. Yeah. He again helps Brackenfell escape the clutches of Falsbay in their corner, and they're going to get relief once again. No points on the board as yet.
Yeah, I think you can see Brackenfell 100% up for the contact. Yeah, really not sitting back.
Yeah, I know. It must have felt like that. Yeah.
I've been impressed with their composure. It would have been easy to panic when you've been on the defence for the majority of a game. And yet every time they basically worked the ball out,
Okay, just hold there.
took a few phases, took their time, didn't rush things and try and panic to get out of the territory. And very tidy at set play as well. Another beautiful line out. And running it out again. Bit cross field though, easily read there by number 7. That's Tabu Ngoko.
Great tackle in the midfield by the skipper.
Always nice to see a loose forward hunting down an opposition player. But now Falsbay again. They're looking for this side of the field again. It's coming to the corner. Looking for support. Not there. Flum with a massive clean out. Very, very impressive hit that. That ball wasn't going to stay in the ruck for too long, I can assure you. But once again, Brackenfell tying up nicely. We have a player down for Falsbay here. And another big hit in the midfield. There he is again. Nice work from the scrum off as well. They're riding the big man to the ground.
I think a couple gents going to have nightmares of that 6 jersey.
And against the run of play, it had to be that way. Falsbay managing to secure the ball by an intercept there and now win the penalty. And it looks like we wanted to take it quickly. It's to and fro. I must say, it has been an absolute thrill to be out here again. I don't know if it's the absence that makes the heart go fonder, but just to be out here in reality again is a special treat. What will Falsbay do? They're going to choose the opposite touchline this time, out of necessity. Let's see if things work out better for them. For the umpteenth time today, we have a line out on the far side of the field this time. Falsbay will have the put in. Mr. Van Vuuren will be throwing the ball in. So far, the lineouts have been almost perfect from both sides. The scrums, the guys are getting to know each other as was expected. And a little bit of conflict in the front row there, a little bit of frustration boiling over. But a tight contest nonetheless. And at this stage, very late in the first half, Very difficult to say which way this one's going to go, but False Bay certainly need to be trying to get some points on the board now.
Sack is good.
Tidy as ever, Nico.
Use it.
Brackenfell, very, very physical up front, slowing the ball. And we have an injury. Doesn't look too promising for the scrum half over there. Dylan Frarling seems to be okay. It's back in business again. Chetty looking for it, standing a bit too flat. Jacobs lying deep, the ball going out wide. Can he get it on the toe? Nicely cleaned up there by Darren Japta in the midfield. And a player coming from the side, it seems.
Okay. Okay, now.
No
Thumbs
advantage
off.
for False Bay. Let's have a word with
Marcel.
the ref.
Number 8. Okay. We had a clear ruck there. Ball's at the back.
Okay.
Kicks it, makes contact with the hand, so that's a yellow card. Okay. Yeah. Contacts with the hand.
And there we go. As you heard there, is it number 8 this time with the yellow card? And he's going to spend some time in the sin bin. Very cynical from Brackenfell, managing to get away with no points, but a couple of infringements. And if this carries on for too long, hopefully we'll see a red card at some point, because definitely being able to slow the game down and frustrating the False boys as much as possible.
Absolutely. Just off camera, Dylan Frarling is receiving some medical attention. Let's hope he's up and running in the next few minutes as well.
He seems a very nuggety little guy, very tough. I mean, even experiencing that sort of pain, he went back in there and tried to continue for as long as he can, and he's up and running again. He's not going to give up that easily.
They played.
And it's
Line out
tackle
over.
in by number 4 in the line out, Umar Sali,
He
False Bay, as they now work their way toward the line. Ball again, once again poached by Brackenfell. And it's these small little errors that are costing False Bay dearly. Happy to send the ball downfield. This is not going to go out, and this should be exciting. An opportunity to throw it wide and long again for False Bay here. Beautifully taken out the air by Jacobs. Now the numbers are on again. They're coming at us down the left-hand touchline. Lovely step infield. Is there support? And that's
Advantage,
again,
lost
exactly
forward.
the point. Brackenfell winning those collisions. And now False Bay win it back. But the infringement, the knock-on, and we're going to have a scrum Brackenfell ball. Once again, very, very promising, but a bit isolated. And then the physicality of Brackenfell at the breakdown and the turnover is again where the opportunity goes awry for False Bay.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm happy. I think it's the ground. They're timing it nicely. Yeah.
Just having a look here at the big man in the number 18 jersey. I'm not sure if it is Vernon Singleton, but
Yeah, we can.
a bigger man I haven't seen in a while. Fortunately, obviously, we haven't been frequenting too many pubs of late, but yeah,
Sure.
I think he represents the whole team when it comes to having a word or two afterwards.
Absolutely.
You got. Yeah.
I think his socks are even struggling to get up past those calves over there.
He's got a couple of tree trunks on him. And it'll be interesting to see again, nice and close to the action we are right now. And let's see what Chetty can do. Can he get in underneath him?
Okay.
A massive difference in size and weight over here. But so far, holding his own. That's much better. Much better in the front row there from False Bay. In fact, look at Chetty driving in on him and taking him. Just a bit of revenge there from the number 1. I don't know if it was completely legal.
No dominance, just wheeling. Just wheeling, around the corner.
Couple words from Chetty again as well.
That's it.
It's very, very heated in front. The words are going back and forth between both front rows.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be many following on Instagram between the front rows.
No.
Seems to be a bit tense up front.
Not many of them on Instagram as well. Most likely, if you're going to find them, you'll find them on Twitter TV. But I almost felt like Chetty felt like he'd got the better of that one. He'd got nicely underneath his opponent. He was moving forward. But unfortunately, then False Bay being accused of wheeling the scrum and the penalty going Brackenfell's way. Look, the ref had the best view of that, but a good contest nonetheless.
Okay, it's 5-5. Get him, Brackenfell, get him.
Lorena van Blurk to feed the line out here. False Bay landing up in the line out here. Does it go to the there's the first mistake, but the big man takes it down.
That is a large human always.
It's difficult to unsee what you've seen, you know what I'm saying, TV. But here we go down the middle. Number 12 there breaks for Dan Aspelin for Brackenfell. Looking for support, stays on his feet. Difficult man to bring to ground. Now to restructure, which way to go. Bit of indecision. Now we go to the right-hand side. And False Bay now need to prove that they can defend and defend for all they're worth. With only 6 minutes left in this half, it would be a real shame to see another score against the run of play.
Ek wou net toe. Tackle!
Advantage with
On the
Brackenfell
ground, tackle!
as we enter the last
The
6
same-
minutes of the first
The
half.
first half.
And it's False Bay's time of reckoning now, as they have to hold on for dear life, especially in the situation they find themselves here, having had at this point probably 80% of possession, only 7-0 behind. And it's a drop goal attempt from Brackenfell, and it looks to me that he's made it. Been there twice, scored twice, 10-0.
Absolutely. I think, yeah, credit to the Brackenfell side, like you say. They've come out, obviously a good win last week against Hammies. The boys have come out and showing their worth as well. It's been good.
A lot of time has passed since we've been live in the world of sport, and so momentum is a thing of the past. I think we've started afresh, started anew, and the great reset button has been hit, and we're all starting from the very, very beginning again, and form will only show itself over these next couple of weeks. But this Brackenfell team seems very composed and very together, under great duress early on, and look at what they've managed to achieve. Taken in by their captain, number 7, Marcel Roux. Prominent figure in this outfit, seems a real general and leader of this team, and he's been lined up, and it looks like 2 infringements, a knock
Say.
both ways, and we're going to have a scrum for the first infringement. First knock on came from Brackenfell. And Fearon still
I
talking
don't
to the
determine.
referee.
Yeah.
Okay, listen to you. Let's go, sir. We want to go.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go. Where's? Let's go.
Give you some time to enjoy the bant in the front row. I'm sure you guys are picking up the signal as well. The players chatting away up front in English and Afrikaans and a few other languages.
Lock
We
in.
have a set scrum in front of us again.
Okay.
False Bay to throw the ball in. Let's see how they
Crouch.
fare on their own ball here. TB.
Fine. Sit.
Go down again.
Again, the
So you've got a
side.
change at 9.
Same ball.
Niaz has come on at 9. Dylan Freiling shifted at 10.
I saw that, man. I adjusted that he slipped. Yeah, this one he slipped. Eh? Okay.
Morne Small has left the field.
Thanks, TB. Going to be very tough to call from here with all those changes, but we'll do our best to keep an eye on it. So in the number 23 jersey,
Okay, locks in.
we have
Crouch.
M1.
Fine.
Niaz Johnson.
Sit.
Okay. Niaz Johnson to feed the scrum here. Much better
All
scrum
day.
there from False Bay. The ball goes out. Kralin, who now finds himself in the 10 position, and it's a double hit in midfield on False Bay. Unceremonious goes backwards, but still manages to produce quick ball. The numbers again, they've managed to create space again. The numbers here, can he get away? He's going to go on his own. He doesn't need support. And there we have it, False Bay in the nick of time, with 3 minutes left in the first half. Couple of positional changes, same tactic, but finally the result they were looking for. TB, that was exciting.
Absolutely. I think it's about time False Bay got on the board. I think a perfect time to strike just before half time.
That looked ominous, and I think, again, it just needed to prove that point, that they could finish. And with finishes like that, and just very much against a massive hit in the midfield, looked like they were going nowhere, but the presence of mind to change direction, get it out very, very quickly. Give some credit to the new man on the field there in the number 23 jersey, Niaz Johnson. And of course now, with the scrum off at 10, very dynamic, very quick, and a lovely, lovely finish. The 2 points are added and a little bit more respectable for False Bay, as the score is now 10-7 at the break. And I think having struck last and taking some momentum into half-time will be a great source of relief for them. Brackenfell almost pulling an Houdini act there and going scoreless in the first half and holding their opponents down to nothing. But a bit more of a fair reflection of the game. Slightly against the run of play. Brackenfell lead at the half, 10 points to 7.
Eh?
We'll see you in a couple of minutes.
Yeah. Look, if he doesn't show up now, or by now.
I think it's not coming.
Yeah.
That is Good afternoon and welcome back
Yeah.
to False Bay Rugby Club as we watch the first team clash here this afternoon in the Super League A Rugby encounter between DirectAxis False Bay Rugby Club and Brackenfell. A titanic encounter so far this afternoon.
So
Very
they
pleasantly
are
surprised by the
counter-attacking
skill, the
against you.
fitness levels and the intensity of these two sides on a beautiful afternoon here in Constantia, Cape Town. As a minute or so we'll be kicking off for the second half. 10-7 the score in favour of Brackenfell despite inadequacies in territory and possession, having worked their way up the field twice and scoring points via a converted try in the corner and a drop goal. And False Bay just before the break scoring a beautiful try after a big hit in the midfield converted to leave us at 10-7 scoreline at half time. And now we look forward to the second half. Welcome back. TB, let's look forward to some exciting rugby if it's anything like the first half.
No, absolutely. Hope everyone's got a refill on the beverages and looking forward to the next 40.
And away we go as we restart. Beautiful hanging kick to the far side of the field from Brackenfell. Knock on immediately from False Bay. And we're underway here for the second half. Immediately it's that big man again, one of your favourite men on the field this afternoon, carrying the ball up with great tenacity. And this come out with much quicker hands here in the second half. Immediately Brackenfell throwing the ball a bit wider, a little bit more expansive. Maybe some instructions coming from the half-time break. And there we have it from the kickoff, of course knocked on there by False Bay. Brackenfell immediately able to scrum down on the far side of the field and have a put in. And by all accounts I can see the ball being thrown wide and a lot of running on the cards here for the second half. Tanil Kun will feed the scrum once the boys are ready. Scrum seem to have tidied up a little bit after the encounters early on in the first half when the guys were feeling each other out a little bit. They've surely missed each other over the last 15 months. They're getting a little bit more used to each other now and things seem to be going a little bit more smoothly as the ball is about to be fed into the scrum. Right to Neil Kun for Brackenfell. Nice and steady, beautifully presented ball, and the backs are away. And again, double knock on. A little bit of an untidy start yet to the second half after a very refreshing, skillful first half. Boys just needing to get back out there and find their feet again. Any other changes notable on the field at this stage?
I'm seeing from the False Bay side no changes from half-time as yet. I'm just scanning the Brackenfell team looking to see if they've made any changes. Doesn't look like any changes for now. I do see quite a big, large member warming up on the side. So we could be in for a couple of changes in the next sort of 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay, we do our best to keep you informed of exactly what is going on. Just the positional change then in the first half for False Bay. And of course the scrum off coming in, number 23, and almost immediately reaping rewards as they change direction with Kraling now at 10, Jacobs at centre, and got it down the line quickly. Pretty much the first touch in the adjusted back line, and they managed to score that try just before the half. Off to a bit of a slower start now in the second half as things get underway again. Boys maybe just feeling the fatigue a little bit after cooling down at halftime. The temperature is of course dropping here. We are in Cape Town after a magnificent Saturday here in the mother city. Weather to dream of. And boys overzealous in the first half, throwing it around like there was no tomorrow. Maybe just slowing down for a couple of minutes. Now I need to get those diesel engines up and running again. TB.
No, absolutely. A couple of big boys are on the field, so I can imagine it could take 5 to 10 minutes just to get those hammies warm again.
Beautiful to see again. False Bay taking the ball quickly and exposing Brackenfell out wide down the left-hand touchline. They're about 90 metres away from us now, but it seems like the ball has made its way into the hands of one of the outside backs.
And Yappy gets in for a double.
Yappy's in for a double. He looked like he meant business from the very first minute of the game. That happened so quickly, I tell you what, we hardly saw. And before we could wipe our eyes, they went in the corner, on the counter, taken quickly. Magic from False Bay. And let's hope to see a lot more of that in the second half.
I think False Bay couldn't have asked for a better start. Just less than 5 minutes into the second half, and the boys are already on the board.
Well, in fact, it's great to see from a False Bay perspective, after having gone almost 40 minutes without a score, they've now managed to score twice in 5 minutes and take the lead from Brackenfell, who will be slightly shell-shocked because if those big men are able to be turned around a couple more times today, I don't know if they'll be able to handle the speed of this False Bay back three for much longer.
Absolutely, whereas I think also the False Bay boys, as they mentioned, pride themselves in their conditioning. So I think we're in for a good second half of exciting rugby.
As we go, already it seems to me the big men from Brackenfell just a bit slower to make their way back to halfway. The False Bay boys look ready. Bit of an issue with the sun at this late time in the afternoon, as we can see the number 4 there for False Bay, Umar Sali and Adam Carvalho, just dealing with a bit of sun in their faces. So it'll be an interesting time, almost like a early twilight period this time of the year. And hopefully they can be a bit more tidy from the kickoff this time. Same kickoff straight down the middle. Once again, a bit of a problem there. And Brackenfell have got their hands on the ball now. On the attack, 22 metres out. There's no way through there in the midfield. Solid. Krayling holding up the opposition player there. But they come again. They're coming in waves now, Brackenfell. And again met with some serious contact. Luke Jacobs, effective for a number 10, doesn't mind the physical stuff, getting himself very involved there. Obviously being shifted out into the midfield now. As False Bay have now taken Brackenfell back 20 metres in the last 3 phases. And unfortunately give away a penalty there for an indiscretion, not rolling away. And unfortunately there for the boys, they concede a penalty there. But some great encouraging again in defence. Meeting their opposition well on the battlefield. And the kick is a good one. And again, we're in our favourite corner for the afternoon. 5 or 6 metres out from the touchline here in front of the Bay Restaurant. And the corner of the field, left-hand touchline. Throw in now for Brackenfell over here on the attack. Similar to where False Bay found themselves on a number of occasions in the first half. Now it's False Bay's turn to put up some sort of a defence and take some punishment. Bit of indecision again here from Brackenfell as to exactly where this ball's going, but gets it in eventually. Bit of competition up front there. Beautifully disrupted by False Bay. They've taken them back about 15 metres out now. Slow ball for Brackenfell. And another infringement there. Again, not rolling away. So that's twice in a minute. They're going to have to be careful, especially now as they work their way into the danger zone here, not to give away any further yellow cards here. Similar to Brackenfell in the first half. False Bay now on the defence and need to try and play by the rules. We're going to have another line out.
I can tell you one observation from my side is that both teams are absolutely not scared of contact. A lot of guys looking for contact. You can see a lot of anger in a lot of the boys' eyes as well.
There's been a lot of pent-up frustration over the last 15 months. TV, a lot of video games and doing the washing and learning how to cook and all the rest of it. Now they're back in the favourite place. They're back in the marsh pit, and we have live rugby again this afternoon. Another tidy set piece from Brackenfell as they work their way via a maul. This is going to be very difficult to stop without, of course, conceding a penalty. That was almost impossible to stop for False Bay. Clinical stuff from Brackenfell right up here, counter-attacking after conceding 2 tries in quick succession. They have now countered themselves with another try and have put themselves back in the lead here. Immediately scoring again via a set play. I don't know how False Bay are going to stop that if they spend more time in this corner. 15-14 it is then with a conversion to come. And Brackenfell have the opportunity to take themselves into a 3-point lead here. Just over 30 minutes left in this brutal encounter here at the False Bay Rugby Club this afternoon. It's been an absolute joy being here. And hopefully the last 30 minutes are just as entertaining as this encounter could go either way here, TB.
No, absolutely. But again, going back to Brackenfell's set piece, proving to be very effective 5 minutes out. We have Dan Aspling, I think his second attempt to pulse for the day.
And again, he is successful straight through the middle. Very astute goal kicker. As we had a silence and a hush come over the stadium, but not because of the crowd going quiet. I just noticed that we were pretty much on our own. Been a serious vibe for the 30 or 40 people that do find themselves involved in the production, and it's been a classic one this far. It's been a great clash and beautifully poised for a great half an hour of running rugby ahead of us. We're going to take the opportunity this afternoon, of course, to thank the key sponsors involved in today's production, in today's clash here at False Bay Rugby Club. We've got DirectAxis False Bay First 15 up against Brackenfell. DirectAxis, of course, a naming right partner here of the facility and the venue and the team. We also have Courier RT, Ross Demolition, Noble Facilities Management, Avatech, ADT Fertility, and Bruce Jack Wines. Without you, none of this would be possible, and we thank you for your support of the community. Of course, this is the engine room. This is where it all happens, your local community, and we're very proud and privileged to be here today. And thank you once again for your continued support of this great rugby club, TB.
Absolutely. Sorry, we're a bit far from the action here, trying to see what exactly that infringement was for. The flower from Brackenfell clearing it out. Very decent kick. I think will take place just past their 10. Obviously their set play has been quite very decent, to say the least. So hats off to the coaching department for you. A well-run machine.
There's very little to criticise between the two teams here this afternoon. So far, for very little rugby and limited preparation, it's been a very tidy affair, to say the least. Beautifully met in the midfield there, the Brackenfell attack, and now the ball pops up, beautifully stolen on the ground. I'm not sure exactly who got their hands on there, but he seems to have won that battle. The ball does get presented now, and it comes out False Bay way as the ball is sent downfield into the right corner. But unfortunately too far, and it's enough time for the Brackenfell 8th man to get back there and touch down in goal. And we're going to have a 22 restart. A lot of talking out there, even more apparent now with the silence around us this afternoon. You wouldn't often get such an intimate experience on the side of a rugby field, but thoroughly being enjoyed here this afternoon by us and hopefully by you at home as well. Thank you for joining us this afternoon and tuning in as play is underway again. A beautiful hanging kick, beautifully taken in by False Bay, and an opportunity now to form ruck and send the ball out wide for the young men here from the Bay of Plenty. And again, taken quickly. Breath of fresh air, the young man in the number 23 jersey came on just before half time, Niaz Johnson. He's not wasting any time, and now the former scrum off, the now second 5/8. He wants to go quickly again, and of course, I'm not sure about the latest in the rulings, but you can't go twice in a row. Lovely stuff there from False Bay, and they still mean business here. Both sides sticking to their game plans, and could go either way, but a little bit of a territory advantage for False Bay again. Opposing corner, opposing touchline, opposing side of the field, but the same position as in the first half, line out, 5 metres out, and False Bay have an opportunity here to put some points on the board. Beautiful line out, beautiful take. They're set up now for the maul, and unfortunately, penalty's gone against them. There's another opportunity wasted. They'll be ruining that, and half a dozen others so far this afternoon, if they don't get across the line here. As Brackenfell, of course, have only had the 3 or 4 chances and managed to turn 3 of them into points. Massive kick down the right-hand touchline there, and welcome relief for Brackenfell as play moves its way away from their territory. Far side of the field, in front of the intershore banner, we have a line out, and ball to be put in by Brackenfell here. As the light slowly dims, the sun goes down, the light starts to fade, and we get to the crunch end of proceedings here in this Titanic Super A clash. And here we have a breakaway down the middle of the field, no one in front, beautifully offloaded, one-handed. Funds supporting runners, now they're making meters, and just like that, unfortunately, another infringement breaks the momentum in play, and we may have an injury. Let's hope he's okay.
His head went into a... It's still not dangerous, it's serious. Yeah.
See False Bay rigging the changes. Where's Chetty is off. I think Flum van Vuren, that's a day for him. Trying to see who else.
Hy het niks verkeerd gedoen.
There's a couple of things happening in front of us right now, as you say. Where's Chetty?
Just scrum their ball.
Had a very, very good game in the loose and held his own in the tight. And now just to see if this player is all right on his back, so we can't bring you any further detail exactly as to who it is. From the little bit I could hear, it does seem to have been an accident. I don't see many flags up or anyone being reprimanded. Now it's just a matter of making sure the man's okay.
All that happened. Just, yeah.
Okay. Just going through the necessary precautions.
The sack was good, and then you guys switched lanes, and that's why the penalty was. Okay, the ball was at the back. There was 2 players in front. Totally new ball that started.
So you're saying that it needs to come down, and then if they sack it, then we need to use it.
Well, yeah, if the sack is good, you need to use it. But what happened there is there was 2 players that broke away, and everybody followed the 2. The ball was at the back. Okay. So, I can play.
He's back on his feet. So all seems to be okay. We're just moments away from being back with some live action.
Just scrum.
All seems to be good, and obviously a huge sigh of relief. Nobody likes to see that in any form of contact sport. But it seems like we're about to get back to rugby.
Welcome.
No foul, no unfair play there, and the scrum is set somewhere near the halfway line, far side of the field. Ball going to be fed in to the scrum by Brackenfell. The backline's lying deep. Find that the 15 is hovering, and some sort of elaborate move being planned down the left-hand side of the field here. And away they go. Oops, eyes in the air, looking at the opponent, and drops the ball in midfield. A couple of unforced errors certainly starting to come into the game now. There is a little bit more tension between the 2 sides. A little bit of tiredness, a little bit of grumpiness. Guys are missing the comfort of their woolly pajamas and being indoors. They've had their fun, and now they're starting to get a little bit upset in the middle there. Let's hope they can hold it together, and we can bring you another 26 minutes of action-packed rugby. Everything just happening a little bit slower than it did in the first half. Very understandable. A lot to play for. Only 3 points in it. And a massive scrum here from Brackenfell. We've just had a change in the front row, and Brackenfell there having their scrum of the game. There's definitely the biggest scrum of the afternoon, and not a good sign for False Bay there. False Bay, of course, looked their most dangerous the more they kept the play loose, got the ball out wide, worked away from the tight phases, away from the mauls, etc. And of course, Brackenfell, the opposite, having also got the ability out wide, but certainly liking it tight and around the fringes and bringing that physicality in the front row. Absolutely amazing how much chit-chat taking place between the 2 packs here as we really tune in now and focus as the clock runs down. Second half of this game here, 17-14 the score to Brackenfell, away to False Bay in the heart of the southern suburbs. Live Super A League rugby coming to you. Anybody's ball game. Beautifully taken at the front for the number 8 for Brackenfell. Raymond Spreeth brings it down, and now the familiar maul situation. Ref's given the call of use it. Brackenfell want to keep working their way down the far touchline, and they have done so successfully. Now the ball being presented and ready to go out. But again, around the ruck they work their way forward. Very structured in their approach. Single pass and back in. Another phase being set up. A couple of pods forming, looking to go back the other way now. I've lost my...
Advantage.
Okay, False Bay with a bit of ball in hand now. Lovely inside-outside there. Combining nicely in the midfield. Ball presented now. Crayland finds himself back at 9. Jacobs back at 10 for this phase. Lovely interplay. The players being able to work their way between the different positions and fairly seamlessly as well. And now Crayland back at 10 again and beautifully down the left-hand touchline. Bit of interplay here from False Bay. Just need to keep it tight, not throw it around too willy-nilly. It's very promising, some play there from the boys as they start showing their talents and their intentions out wide. And again we have a little bit of a stoppage in play, another injury on the far side of the field. The boys just buying a little bit of time, some aching bodies and a couple of injuries creeping into play. Lovely couple of phases there for False Bay. Looking very dangerous again, the more they get the ball out wide and the more they throw it out wide. And of course Brackenfell want not too much to do with that as they try and keep things a bit tighter and utilise that ascendancy up front in that pack. Certainly a very, very, very big and physical Brackenfell pack out here this afternoon. And here they go again. False Bay. Numbers, room, and away. Try time.
It's that man Darian Hock again. He's looked dangerous, the ball in hand all day. And finally crossing over the whitewasher as well. Fantastic play from False Bay.
Seems so simple when they get it right. Blink and you miss it. Tiptoeing down the touchline on the outside. Darian Hock scores again for False Bay. And again, just showing that this team has got a couple more gears up their sleeve here. I don't think we've seen them hitting 4th or 5th yet, TB.
No, absolutely not. And like you said earlier, out wide, looking extremely dangerous. Their back three running particularly well.
It certainly has been the strength in this False Bay side this afternoon. A very, very dangerous back three. And as the big boys that have been so physical, and of course, all that time spent on their own try line, that sort of 30 to 35 minutes of defence in the first half for Brackenfell has got to hurt. And maybe those big boys aren't going to be able to get out wide and defend against that sort of flair in the second half. False Bay take the lead again. And they've had very few opportunities to lead in this game, so I think very thankful with just over 20 minutes left in the game. Maybe a little bit more in the tank from a very fit side, a very fit-looking False Bay, a very well-conditioned outfit, having the 19-17 lead here with a kick to come. And of course, home ground advantage, and let's see what that all amounts to for the last 20 minutes of this encounter. The kick looks to be just away to the right, so the score will stay the same. It's 19-17 to False Bay here over Brackenfell. 20 minutes left and all to play for. As again the shadows are now gone as we're in sort of mid-darkness. It's going to be an interesting time of the day and the skills are certainly going to be tested out here. And both teams will want this, and it's who's going to want it more. I think that's going to be exactly where this is going to end. And again, this production wouldn't have been possible without our partners, production team and the sponsors of both clubs. Special shout out of course as well to Avatech, keen supporter and sponsor and partner of the False Bay Rugby Club. Thanking you again for your support, along with Courier IT, Ross Demolition, ADD Fidelity, and of course we have the Bay Restaurant here as well. Please do come and support when you have the time. But now it's Brackenfell looking to counter punch again, as we've seen so often in this game, looking to score immediately again after being scored against, but an infringement. Jacobs with a quick tap and go this time, catching Brackenfell well off guard, and that's been a secret weapon of False Bay today, going quickly often and with some success at this point. Throwing the ball around with gay abandon now, and look how quickly recycled. I must say that number 9 for a False Bay, old Dylan Freilink, has an exceptional game where they're popping up at 9, 10 or 12, and the interplay between himself and Jacobs, and of course the man off the bench, Nias Johnson, has been quite something to watch, because I don't know which way you're coming, I don't know who's coming at you, and they've made it seem very seamless. The changes from just before half time seemed a very smooth encouraging prospect for False Bay. And it's the captain of Brackenfell taking it off the top again. Quick hands out into the midfield. Had a very big game so far, the number 7, Marcel Roux. Early infringement with the yellow card, but certainly has marshalled the troops and held his Brackenfell side together beautifully throughout the course of this afternoon, as they again seem to just want to slow things out. Ball's turned over. It's False Bay side again, and I'd encourage them to throw this ball wide and try and get these guys stretched as much as possible, and that's exactly what they do. Hand in the way, of course, there. Intentional knockdown
Offside.
is the call. Offside, in fact. And just
Dobbs, you can pick over here or over there if you want. There's 2 offsides. Okay.
Okay, the ref very clear in his decision there. Of course, not allowing the players to dictate the terms out there. And it just seems to me that the Brackenfell boys are seemingly a little bit more tired than the False Bay boys. So they're going to look for that touchline in the corner again, and then we'll take it from there. The kick is a good one, and False Bay back on the attack.
Caleb Rightfoot's first feed of the game, man coming off the bench, also quite experienced, coming from old Hammies a few years ago, but glad to see him down the bay.
And straight away he finds his jumpers off the top again from False Bay, setting up just on the right hand side of the uprights, and now right in front, about 5 to 10 meters out on the attack. Quick ball is the order of the day, and once again they have it. Magnificent hands there from Jacobs, looking to find his way through. Tidy clean up. Well presented again, the ball here for False Bay as the big man takes it in now. He's working his way, head low, legs charging, finds himself 5 meters out, and again it's quick. Freiland in 10 position again now, spins out of the tackle. He's held up by the behemoth of a front row in the Brackenfell outfit. Finds his way to ground somehow. And False Bay keep working their way slowly but surely down the right-hand touchline. Very close now, the good camera angle of proceedings, 5 meters out. And again, they spin it out wide. Inside, outside, too easy.
It's a hat trick for the man Yappy on the wing.
Too easy for him, he just walks in, puts the ball down rather nonchalantly. And again, I think it's very, very evident there. Just running it up once or twice, nice and close, in tight, then throwing it wide, and there's no one out there to stand in their way.
No, absolutely. Some fancy footwork there just before the line, just to get the man over the line. So fantastic stuff from the Bay. Really looking forward to the last 15.
Mustakim Japi finding himself in space, and nobody's going to stop him there. I can tell you from what I've seen this afternoon, a very exciting prospect out wide, and a tremendous effort by the back three of False Bay this afternoon. If you're looking at a back three that looks and smells of danger, it's going to be Mustakim Japi, Reina Mapu, and Darian Hock, who's also been over the line this afternoon and has shown great enterprise from any position on the field. A little bit of daylight now for False Bay. They'll feel a little bit more comfortable with a 7-point lead. They'd like to stretch that outside the 7, of course, as we wait for the kick. It's beautifully struck from far out, but makes its way past the uprights. So we have a 7-point ball game. Brackenfell field with 15 minutes left. Some tired men out there, and I think they would certainly need to score next for me if they really want to run this one close. False Bay score next, and I do think we could certainly start seeing this game opening up to a new level. Het lijkt my daar is 'n paar mense in die skare hier vanmiddag. Ek hoor hulle skree uit vir 'n bietjie Afrikaanse kommentaar. So ons gaan vir hulle so 'n bietjie gee. Ek's nou nie Gerald Wewelje nie, maar ek het 'n bietjie Afrikaanse sport gekyk in my dag. Die bal is nou in die lug gehou, verkant van die veld, oorkant van die veld. Brackenfell by die bal sok, die bal kom nou mooi uit. Hy gaan by die agterlyn af. Hier's 'n goop, maar weer gemoed in die midveld, in die middel van die veld. Maar hier kom hulle weer, Brackenfell. Hulle wil nie ophou nie. Hulle is lus vir rugby, hulle is lus vir kontak. Hulle is net 7 punte agter en hierdie wedstryd is nog ver van oor af. TB.
So nothing but English commentary from my side, unfortunately.
Leave it!
Some high intensity here from Brackenfell now, as they noticed. Every time there's been a score against them, they've come back, double impact. They've come back to rectify the situation. That ball did seem to go forward. And in fact, yes, it did. Forward out the hands of Brackenfell. A couple of good phases, some high impact, high intensity rugby, but are they tiring themselves out by continue taking that high impact approach up the middle with the big men? And of course playing into False Bay's hands, because every time they get the ball and they spin it out wide quickly, they seem to have the numbers to burn, and the overlaps and the spaces are imminent, and they're happening to come in very early phases as well. Not much of build up necessary, TB.
No, absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. It's good to see some new faces in the False Bay team this year as well. Some guys adding some real value, some youngsters coming through, which is also exciting to see.
Interesting mix of experience and youth here with False Bay. I think alluded early in the proceedings today with the interview with the coaches, of course, was that you do lose sort of 12 players a year, whether it's to retirement, to varsity, to injury or to work. You know, it's an ever-changing environment. You're always rebuilding. But what we've seen here this afternoon is a beautiful blend between the experience and the youth, and the interplay between them has been extraordinary. As I think Freiling going showing what a great ball play is, playing in the midfield now and putting the ball to boot, finding some open space, and a beautiful kick into touch on the far side. And False Bay now enjoying territory and a little bit more possession, and looks like they want to start controlling this game with a 7-point lead.
The middle.
Very interesting, as you said, of course, the cap situation. I mean, you've got players here with 200 caps. You've got Wes Chetty with 57 here and many elsewhere. And then you've got players like Darian Hock with 1 cap at fullback, Rayno Mapu with 1 cap, Lukey Jenkins with 2 caps. And in the lock combination as well, they've been superb with Adam de Carvalho also only having 5 caps at this point in his career. So the future looks bright for False Bay.
I think also what's exciting with the Carvalho and Luke Jacobs been in the club for a number of years and finally cracking it.
Leave his neck now, leave it here.
They know the culture, they know the game, yeah. And here we go, Brackenfell with a little bit of enterprise down the middle, finding some holes of their own now. Held up in the midfield, needs to get to ground now. More was called by the ref, but they may have managed to get to ground. And False Bay have managed to turn it over. Beautifully done there by the boys in red and green here this evening. The early evening of a magnificent winter's day, or early winter's day, late autumn here in Cape Town. Live sport again coming to you. Long may it continue. Great encounter, 7 points the difference. It's not over yet, but certainly the momentum seems to be with the homeboys here.
Let's go.
Bay. Number 21 here, TB.
Bob Samar on the field is quite an experienced gent with False Bay. I think he replaced Yappy on the wing.
Oh, correct. Yeah. Hold on a second. Yappy is 11. Or, yeah.
Set.
Front rows go down, but the ball is there. And look at Jacobs again, looking for gaps, the show and go. Not convinced anyone there. Being carried around the field now, but manages to present it. And second phase here for False Bay. A hallelujah pass out to the left, beautifully taken, and it's the hot stepper Inikomosi again, working his way, held
tackled
up.
Anyway.
It's got to ground.
Drunk.
It's good to see the False Bay lads still full of running at this point in the game.
And also mixing it up a little bit now, taking it quick, but still holding structure, setting up phases. Crailing very exciting at 10. Jacobs out at 12 now. Not the best pass of the afternoon, but the interplay between those 3 boys there, between 9, 10 and 12 this afternoon, in whichever position they may find themselves in, incredibly exciting.
Happy, no option, straight into touch.
All happening a little bit too quick for the Brackenfell guys, I think, at this point in time.
At 7.
They really need to put the pedal to the metal now. With under 10 minutes to go in this encounter, 7-point lead. False Bay would like to score one more time, just get outside that 7 points, secure that lead and get outside of the danger zone. Brackenfell, as I said, would want to score next to keep themselves and their hopes in this game alive.
Now it's over.
Throw to the back is a good one. Off the top, and Brackenfell come again, spreading it wide. Magnificent hit there. The overlap was on. There were 2 numbers extra on the outside. Beautifully timed tackle out there, and that forces the turnover. And you can hear the rapturous applause through your microphones and your television sets at home from the bench, and the False Bay boys right in front of them there. Beautifully timed tackle, massive hit. turnover, and it was critical as False Bay now have the opportunity to put the ball into the scrum with some territory and lovely open side to explore here, most of the field, to run wide, spread it, and see if they can add another 5-pointer onto the scoreboard.
Blocks in. Come boys, come on. Come David. People, come on.
Crouch.
Niels Johnson to feed the scrum. Craylen finds himself at 10. Jacobs at 12. What will they conjure up next? Pick up at the back. Nice drift across the field. Skip 2, skip 3, skip plenty, and away we go. And there he goes, TV. Ooh, there's a little bit of unnecessary happening now. We don't need to see this. The spoiler, very good affair out here this afternoon. Far from necessary, a little bit of an argy-bargy taking place way off the field.
Absolutely, it just looks like a little bit of handbags, nothing too serious.
And now it's turned into a little bit of a wrestling match. And it just looks like another ruck is formed outside of a legitimate field. And here we go, guys. Team that keeps its composure, yeah.
Okay, back away.
Will be well advised to keep their focus on the game.
Okay, back away quickly. Okay, we say Cappy. Dylan, just come here quickly. Okay, listen, we don't have a lot of time left. Nah? The two wingers would have pushed and shoved, would have ended. Okay, this guy escalated everything by joining us. I'm going to penalise him for inflation. Okay.
Freilich taking the captaincy of the departure of Tabo.
Yeah, much ado about nothing over there between the two wingers, but when the big men do get involved, the referees do seem to get a little bit more upset. And unfortunately then the decision going against False Bay there for inciting violence and the penalty going the way of Brackenfell, who have now managed to get themselves out of a precarious position down there in the False Bay.
In play.
In the corner.
In play. Okay,
and, we're going to have a line out, and with 7-8 minutes to go, they have no choice but to throw the ball wide now. Let's see what they can conjure up here. Freilich, the little general here this afternoon. Very exciting player, very versatile.
Skew.
And there we go. Mistakes are starting to creep into the play of the Brackenfell side at this late stage of the afternoon as the lights come on. Resembling the Field of Dreams in Idaho. Fantastic feeling just to be out here again this afternoon and enjoy the fresh air, the live rugby, and some seriously good entertainment from both sides here. 8 minutes to go.
Crouch.
Who's going to strike next?
Bind. Sit.
Unfortunately, ball lost forward there by False Bay. All sorts of wrongs going on in that front row at the moment. It's been a battle for the ages, and
like the scrum now,
I must say that it's been a pleasure to watch. Hard to say exactly who's dominated completely, but I think they've both had their moments in this game. It's been a bit of a tug of war, forward and backwards, but neither giving an inch, and both sides coming out. A lot of pride at this stage in the game. Now it's just a matter of just see how this is all going to end up. One moment of brilliance from either side here could be the difference.
Crouch.
Pick up at the back as Brackenfell break blind. Well met in the midfield. A couple of turns, ball presented. As they continue to choose the more direct line and run it up around the set plays and the rucks and the mauls, bashing it up. They need to start sending the ball a little bit wider here and catch the False Bay boys off guard. Much easier to prepare, of course, for this continual bombardment in close range. And here is an opportunity now for Brackenfell, but they don't have the numbers. It's a little bit untidy. Beautifully recovered under pressure and the offload. Now there's a little bit of space. Ball to the toe, keeps it in field. False Bay fall back and beautifully. Is that Rana Mapu?
It's Muskin Yappi again.
Is that Yappi? So he's still on the field. Yep, outstanding performance by Yappy this afternoon. And again, now we go quickly from Brackenfell. That's a little bit more of what they need to be doing. But unfortunately, perhaps the line-out was formed, or they took it from the wrong spot. And the game slows down again to a walking pace. And at this late stage in the game, this will suit the False Bay boys to a T. As the clock runs, as we near the last 5 minutes of conventional time. Of course, we did have the injury. We're not sure what's on the clock from the referee's perspective. But the slowing down of the game now very much suiting the False Bay boys. And more mistakes creeping into the game. As the ball goes over the back and unfortunately then also knocked on by False Bay. And it seems there's a few things unsettled in the front rows.
Early.
Not quite ready to go, let go of the frustrations of a few minutes before. Need to get their minds back to rugby here. And it's again Brackenfell taking the direct route up the middle, being well met in the midfield by False Bay. A couple of phases of that and then we'll look to go wide, but not drawing any defenders in as a boot gets thrown off the field. Not managing to pull enough people into ruck time, but now just trying to work around the rucks. A little bit untidy, a little bit predictable. Going a bit wider now. Again the direct route and again well met. A lot of physicality out of here, a lot of sore bodies expected over the next week or so between these two teams. Neither yard gained or given here. It's been a game of inches and every inch has been fought for. And now it opens up. Beautifully found pass into the midfield and now stolen. False Bay with a counter attack. This is where it gets exciting. And another mistake. Craylan charged down. And then ultimately a knockdown and a knock on from Brackenfell, unfortunately.
That's the game, guys.
And the ref is blowing full time, a bit before expected from our perspective.
Well done, guys.
So a bit of an anticlimax to what was a really good affair out there this afternoon, TB.
100%. I think considering all things considering, a hell of a game of rugby had out.
So well done. Some big hits here in the end, eh?
Yeah, and the referee, as you can hear as well, recommending the players for their big hits here this afternoon. Physical encounter, a good encounter. Hopefully one day, not too distant future, we'll be welcoming you back into the False Bay Rugby Club, and where you'll be able to enjoy some live rugby of your own again. But until then, it's been a pleasure being here with you this afternoon. On behalf of False Bay, Brackenfell, the production team, and of course all the sponsors. As we've mentioned earlier, without you this wouldn't be possible. Advertech, DirectAxis, ADT, Rust Demolition, Courier, and of course, a lovely afternoon, some good rugby, and thank you very, very much for being with us this afternoon. Hope you enjoyed it. Until the next time, the production will improve, and we'll see you soon.
It was 24-17, so these Brackenfell guys scored